Thank you, City Council and Mayor. I'm Sarah Smith. I extend my condolences to the victims of the Young Park shooting. Several of you have said you want to find solutions to the youth crime and violence problem. For thousands of years, one of the most basic tenets of society has been, do not harm others or encroach on their property. One of the fundamental purposes of government is to uphold this law so that the society can function well. Here in Las Cruces and across New Mexico, we are seeing what happens when we do not uphold this principle. Parents should be teaching their kids from a young age that they cannot harm others, take other kids' toys, or damage the property of others. Once the kids go to school, this principle should be reinforced over and over again so that by the time the kids are adults, it has been ingrained. Once people are old enough to be held legally accountable, there must be consistent and sure enforcement of this law, no matter whether they are rich or poor, Hispanic or white, housed or homeless. This is literally the overarching principle that allows society to continue to survive. There have always been some parents who don't raise their kids well, but now schools are perpetuating the same cycle. I advocate for teachers and parents across the state, and they have shared that kids in schools are allowed to harm others with no real consequences. Kids are throwing chairs in the classroom, hitting other kids, throwing temper tantrums, and the teachers are not allowed to really stop it. For example, a Las Cruces mother related that in her daughter's class, one of the kids has violent temper tantrums. Instead of imposing consequences to help this child learn proper behavior, the teacher takes the rest of the kids out of the class and allows the child to trash the classroom. Year after year, all of these kids are learning that there are no consequences to hurting others and that no one will stop a kid who chooses to hurt others, steal, or destroy. By the time kids reach their teen years, the behaviors have escalated to fighting, doing drugs, shoplifting, stealing cars and guns, and shooting others. With New Mexico's lax juvenile crime laws and catch and release policies, these kids are ripe for getting involved with organized criminal gangs and cartels who know that youths can break the law with very little consequence in New Mexico. We now have many kids growing up with no respect for the most basic laws of society, and thus we have high rates of juvenile crime with tragic consequences, like what happened at Young Park. City councilors, I appreciate that you want to find solutions. Recreational activities for kids are important, and I hope the schools will own their responsibility to teach kids self-control and respect for rules. For you as council, I hope you see that your paramount role is to ensure we have good laws, that the laws are applied equally to everyone, that we have enough police officers to keep our community safe, and that there are sure consequences for those who break the law. Our state legislature refused to tighten up our juvenile crime laws, so I hope you will take action here in Las Cruces instead, such as imposing a curfew for teens and holding both the teens and parents accountable. You can also greatly increase the salaries of our police officers in the upcoming union negotiations so that Chief Story will be able to better attract and retain officers. As a body, if you decide you will no longer tolerate people harming others, breaking into and destroying our homes and businesses, you can make a big difference. Thank you.